the U.S. began its final withdrawal from Afghanistan today. Now, violence has spiked in Afghanistan.
They said, sorry, she's not our citizen. We cannot help you on that. And I told them, like, listen, if you don't do that, I'm a US citizen. I will go to save her, and then I will be responsible to bring home. They said, sorry, we cannot do anything about that. We are not recommending you to go. And they hanged up, basically. So as soon as they hanged up, I booked my ticket to go to Afghanistan.
If the Taliban would have found the passport and the first days and weeks of the collapse, where there was still a lot of bitterness and animosity of a 20-year war, they would know very well that this Afghan received his U.S. citizenship because he served along U.S. forces. They would have understood this. So this man risked his life to save his wife.
For the last 20 years, the punishment for a translator or anyone work with the coalition force was beheaded, just like that. No court, no second chance.
One interpreter there told me this week, if I'm left behind, I will 100% be killed by the Taliban. So what details can you give us for that?
So as we've announced in the past, the focus is on applicants who are already in the pipeline.
The flights will happen only out of Kabul, but there are a lot of interpreters that don't live in Kabul. They may not be able to get there. Are you going to help them get there safely? They're threatened by the Taliban, and they often don't go outside. So advocates are wondering how they're going to get to those flights.
It's a great question. We obviously want to help interpreters and applicants who may not be living directly near the airport. I will see if there's more from the State Department in terms of the operational component of this that we're able to share. But certainly we keep that in mind. Go ahead, Chris.
The Taliban now guarding the only way into the airport and so far letting only foreigners pass.
Go to the airport. It was like miles of people, not like 200 or 1,000. There were miles. Like you will definitely drive like 2-3 miles if you were driving. There were that many people on the line trying to go to the airport.
He went to Afghanistan to rescue his wife, who was waiting for her visa to simply be stamped. But there was no longer an embassy to stamp her visa. So he thought, as an American citizen, if I went and grabbed my wife, I can get her out. But in fact, what ended up happening is now he found himself with his wife stranded in Afghanistan, and it was already 3 weeks after the fall. He only had about 10 minutes in credits left on his cell phone. When his cell phone ran out of credits, he had no way of loading it with more credits. He would be lost to the world, and he would probably lose his life, and his wife would lose her life.
He was in touch with me. I sent him a message on Facebook because that's how we are connected. Like, hey, sir, I'm in Afghanistan. And his reaction was like, wait, what? Hold on, what? He was start calling to like anyone he knew, and then that's how I was in touch with Jason, basically.
So it's September 22nd, and I had just done an EWTN News Nightly interview, and I was in the green room. I was having my makeup wiped off from my face. I had a message from an officer that effectively said, I just saw you on TV saying that you are helping Afghans, because he said, I reached out to the State Department, I reached out to his member of Congress, I reached out to this group, I reached out to that group, and no one's even gotten back to me. So if you're sincere and if you're able to help anybody, please reach out to me. I'm desperate to rescue this American citizen and Afghan who served under me. And I'm a veteran. I was a U.S. Army infantryman. My father was a U.S. Army infantryman. My grandfather was a U.S. Army infantryman. And my son fought ISIS in Iraq and Syria. He was an American citizen, and I was going to spare no expense to getting this American citizen home. Not only was he a U.S. citizen, he was an Afghan American who earned his citizenship serving alongside American soldiers.
think of somebody who fought shoulder to shoulder with your brother, with your sister, with, you know, our friends, with our families that were fighting some of the most vicious terrorists in the global war on terror. This is who we have left behind.
I don't even think it was an hour. I got a call from a number, and I picked up Jason talking. We're here for you. That's what he said. We'll help you. Let's find a way to get you out.
Prince became my priority.
I don't know how that happened, but I just met someone. He just got some cash, gave it to me, so I could just keep my phone running.
I found a way. It was going to be very expensive, well over $100,000, somewhere around $175,000 if I remember correctly. And I called Prince. I said, "Look, Prince, we have a way to get you out of the country. If you choose this way, you have to be very serious. There's no going back, because you need to understand it's going to cost $175,000. I don't mind spending this money at all if it gets you home. But if we start the process moving and you chicken out or your wife chickens out, it was an overland, or there were overland routes, or if you change your mind, it's a lot of money to throw away, a lot of money we can use to save people's lives." I believe he said, I think he told me, "I talked to my wife, and going overland seems just a little too dangerous. We will wait and continue to try to find a way onto one of these US State Department flights that we're still leaving sporadically." And it was going to be another 2 months before Prince was able to arrive in San Diego on a plane. And these were 2 very dangerous months of Prince and his wife in Kabul, in hiding. Nine hours later, after this guy lands in the United States, it's like 7 a.m, Texas time. And he's like, "Hey, bro, you remember when I told you my wife was afraid to go overland?" "No, she's not afraid of anything. I just didn't want you to waste all that money on me. I know what we can use the money we saved. Let's use that money to begin feeding our allies who've been abandoned, to be feeding the poorest of the Afghans. Let's put together a food distribution program." He's like, "My brothers are there, my family's there. I think we can really do this." Now, as he's talking, I hear this noise. I hear beep, beep. I'm like, what in the world? I go, "Prince, what is that beeping sound?" He's like, "Oh, bro, I couldn't wait to get back to my 7-Eleven. He owns the 7-Eleven. "I couldn't wait to get back to my 7-Eleven. I'm just ringing up customers." This guy went through the roller coaster of roller coasters, risked his life, and then is on this perilous journey to get his wife home. Then he finally arrives home, and he's already at his 7-Eleven ringing up customers. I mean, this is unbelievable.
Something that I'm most proud of in my life is to work with VPP and helping people in need. When they haven't had anything to eat for months, and you just fill their table. There's so many things.
The sacrifice that we've made to evacuate Prince and his wife, Prince has repaid that 1,000-fold.